All right, I'm making a video on light language. I just tried to make one and then it got deleted immediately. So we're gonna try this again. Light language. Oh, and by the way, this video is going to be spoken in light language. So yeah, it's basically, light language is a form of telepathy. So it's like basically the way that the words come across behind the words. So it's basically like a full concept communication that goes on behind the words that are spoken in physical reality. So like you have the vibrational complexes that we call words that are made from us speaking, right? And then you have the kind of emotional feeling that is behind that, which most people are able to tap into both of these aspects of reality. And then behind that, even, you have another layer where you can actually send full kind of concept messages through an experiential aspect, meaning like you have words, but like then you have the words behind the words. So like as I'm speaking, you guys are kind of listening to me, but you're also listening to your head, right? You're listening to the voice in your head. So my words actually can link up to that voice in your head and then communicate other messages other than what are being spoken through my mouth. They can actually be communicated through, like, it's like the way that it's moved is through the words, but the words are just a vehicle for a different conscious level of communication. So you hear my voice, but then behind my voice there are other messages that are coming through at the same time, and they're much more profound, and they'll answer questions that are going on immediately in your head. So it's something that's not really subject to time. So like it's something that happens in the moment of you thinking, and it's like just these kind of revelation feeling messages that come through, and it's going to sound like the voice in your head. And then there's also like the connection of angels and things like that, where you can start to realize that you can actually receive messages from other beings and things like this through just opening yourself up to these multidimensional levels of consciousness, or like these multidimensional aspects of consciousness. And you can start to really feel the presence of these other kind of beings that are around us, because it opens you up to kind of just sensing more of the things around you. And I'll go more deeper into energy work and things like that later, but this is about light language, and it's about communicating it's about communicating an emotional concept behind words, and also it's about linking the mind, body, and spirit together with everything around you and with the people that you're speaking to. So when you get this deep emotional connection, a lot of people can kind of understand people on a deeper level because of the slightly telepathic light communication, which is when you kind of look at somebody and you feel them rather than kind of thinking about them. You feel them as a person and as their experiences, and it can go deep, like it can go very, very deep with this. You can start to feel other people as if it was a memory of your experiences. You'll start to get these flashes of kind of insight on other people. You'll start to see the faces that people put on everywhere, and it'll just kind of like build on itself, basically. And these are spiritual kind of they're not particularly powers, but just like it's you starting to tap into these other dimensions of consciousness. So light language, though, is, say I would start talking to you about, I mean, honestly, it can be sent through like messages that are direct as well. So I can give direct messages on light language. So saying that basically, I would say that light language is also a form of empathic understanding with another person. So and it's also based on the amount of their pineal gland that's open, or their indigo array or third eye chakra. So as that kind of unity consciousness opens up, then what happens is you start to really see or feel the other aspects of yourself in these people. And when you start to really see the similarities of yourself to these other people rather than seeing the differences, then you become more and more open to receiving this language. It's almost like an intuitive thing. So it's something that comes from an understanding. And for me, it's been a very interesting thing because it's almost like a understanding that I have from past lives that has been passed down to me, and it's like all coming back at one time. And it's not anything that you kind of like, you don't study to understand it. It's like you already know it, you know. It's like a oh man, I didn't know I already knew this, but like it's almost like how when you start to walk, and some people just are quicker to pick up things than other people. Like some kids can ride a bike at age 2, and then some kids really like can barely walk until they're 2, you know. It's dependent on the amount of previous experiences that you bring from other incarnations into this life. And through that knowledge and that stream of consciousness, you can actually tap into that and start to use that as a vehicle to other streams of understanding and knowledge. And receiving a message from the universe is actually a lot like just having an aha moment or like an understanding of something miraculously. So like it's like what I'm saying will link up to what you're thinking and answer the questions of what you're thinking, but it's not through the words that I'm saying, it's through the understanding that I already have that you are just tapping into in me. So like, since we are all one and we're all unity consciousness, the thing about that is that somebody else can tap into another person and actually draw from their experiences that they've had in order to be able to kind of empathically soak up this information without having to actually have this experience. Or it's actually like unlocking other things that you've experienced in past lives and other things like this. And it's almost like these memories are like similarities to the things that you just like, you look at somebody and then you just like, you can feel their experience in a way. And through that, that's how you actually receive a lot of light language as well, because that's like through the understanding that we are all one, you can actually tap into other people, and you can tap into their state of consciousness now, their emotional states, and their memories and thoughts through just understanding how to use this light language and how to receive it from everywhere, because this language is not something that is verbal. It can be taken from anything around you, so it doesn't have to be through verbal words. That's just the easiest vehicle for that to go through. But it can also be from just nature, and you can literally receive anything from anything, like any message, I mean, from anything around you. And that's actually a lot of what I think like the essence of wisdom comes from, is to be able to receive, you know, guidance and knowledge and information from everything around you, and to know how to discern that information from what is truth and what is not truth. And like, it should be something that you can feel, you know. You should be able to feel if this stuff is true, because like it feels more like a memory of something rather than something that you've learned. So it's not going to feel like something, it's like, oh, I have it now. It's like, no, I've known it all along, you know. Like that's how it comes across. Light language though, I mean, there's a few more things that I can say about it. It's like a secondary level of consciousness, where, because what's going to happen is we're going to start to move into this multi-dimensional state of consciousness where we're able to be in multiple bodies at one time. And through these bodies, what I mean by this is like right now we're already starting to move into multiple bodies at one time. Like we have the physical body, and then we have the mental body, and then we have the emotional body, and then we have the etheric body, then we have the light body, and they all just kind of are stacked on top of each other. The physical body may be the one that's the most dense, but all these other bodies are still active, and they may be dormant, but they're still active. So we can actually start to unlock each one of these bodies and use them all simultaneously at one time in order to be able to do things. And it's almost like you can do things at a superhuman way, or like you can gather information from so many different places or so many different things at one time, because you're activating all of these bodies, and you're starting to really like use them to pull information from all of these different parallel experiences or parallel existences or parallel dimensions all at one time. And it's actually amazing, because once you start to experience it, then you start to see that we were just barely scratching the surface of what is possible in this reality. And we've been lied to about the capabilities of the human body and mind and soul and spirit. And you start to see also that, you know, the 3D is controlled by other things. There are things that are controlling you through technology and through you know, fast food and different aspects, TV, you know, media, things like this. And they've actually been controlling people for a while now, and they've been using them as a power source or an energy source, like energy vampires. That's why a lot of people, when they get home from work and they get done with their day, they're tired and they're not ready to do anything because all their energy has been drained. And that's actually good for them, because then people don't have time to wake up to their infinite potential or their infinite nature. They don't have time to wake up to their multi-dimensional aspects or their astral bodies or anything like that. I just find that very interesting. Light language, though, is starting to become more common. It's starting to become something that's definitely looked at a lot more or understood a lot more by people now. I think as this awakening goes on, there's going to be more and more people who are going to start to really understand what is going on, and they're going to really start disconnecting from the mainstream society and moving into their own kind of ways of existence. And it's going to be really like different from anything that had been going on before, because like these are ways of life that are they had not been previously like tapped into until we started to wake up to these past life experiences and things like this. And we're starting to now maybe have memories of things and to have kind of experiences of ways that we can go about, you know, living in society without having to destroy the entire planet at the same time. Yeah, this is just a really short one about light language, and I feel like today is going to be a good day for some filming, so I'm probably going to film a couple other videos. But this one's really fun, though. I have a lot more to say about light language. It's just, you know, I just wanted to get off the basics of like what exactly it is and how to kind of receive it in a way. And hopefully you can start to, you know, feel that with the communication that's going on right now, and maybe able to pick up something from me or something like that. But have a wonderful day.